Hi everyone, my name is Lilia Baeza and this will be my audience today. Okay, so have you all been aware of the constant increasing temperatures that we've had in the last few years? Well, global warming is the main cause of the increase of temperature due to the human society. Global warming affects everybody equally. Not only will global warming affect you, but also your children and the future generations to come. It will affect it will affect us directly and indirectly. It will affect the growth and production of food due to the changes in the environment as well. So, according to my research and what scientists have found, and I am very well informed on what the effects of global warming will have on the planet overall in general. I will discuss what the main causes of natural disasters that are occurring, including the increase of water levels, temperatures, followed by some of the steps that we can take at macro level to reduce global warming and its effects. So global warming has become a catastrophe and an issue over the last few centuries. Carbon dioxide is closely related to the cause of global warming. And as we see in the third slide from my PowerPoint that I provided for you, this leads to the increase in temperature that we have experienced over the last few centuries. Human population and the environment can have a negative effect when drastic change occurs. And there was this article that I researched, and according to the article, it was called The Psychoanalytic Reflection on Global Warming. The actions of humans over the last few centuries have created what we know as global warming, and the author from this article states that we have experienced a change in climate in areas that society has never seen before. And for instance, the author, it's like Sajo Dean, he has a really weird name, anyways, argues that due to the melting of polar ice, we are experiencing a rise in water levels of polar ice that imposes a large problem for human society that is caused by trapped gases in the atmosphere, which is known as the greenhouse effect, and that causes global warming. So today, humans produce more than 50 times carbon dioxide compared to 550 million years ago. And that change in the environment will cause certain species to die off, especially the polar bears, since they live in ice and, the melting of the ice. Well, as well as the change in environment will make it more difficult for animals to find their food and survive. The effects of global warming may seem horrible. However, small steps can be taken that contribute to minimizing its effects. In order to minimize the effects of global warming, we need to focus on the importance and the needs and wants of society. We now live in a world of business, meaning that consumption leads to production. And by you not consuming stuff that you do not need will reduce the amount of gases released into the earth and environment to produce the item that is desired. Also minimizing the use of electrical power will help the results of global warming. And if you look into the papers from the PowerPoints on the 9th slide, it states there that nuclear power has a disadvantage because of the waste that is created during the production. Global warming is not a problem that can be solved in an individual level. It cannot be solved in our lifetime, but it can be drastically reduced for the future and for our planet. So we ourselves are responsible for the destruction of our beautiful planet Earth. And by limiting the consumption, and we limit the production. And by limiting the number of vehicles that we own and by using less power, we will help the environment, from releasing less gases and reduce the environment's temperature. So, let's take into account that the variation of temperatures on Earth varies on the amount of carbon dioxide present. So, limiting your needs and wants is the first step to contribute in the fight against this global warming. And limiting yourself to only one vehicle rather than 2 or 4 will help the environment. We need to focus on the items that we need instead of the items that we want. In the article that I found, Human Contribution to More Intense Precipitation Extremes, according to Gabrielle, he states that every time you fill up your gas tank, you are using land that could have been used for food production. Global warming depends on 3 factors, which are population, lifestyle, and technology. As the number of people increase, the gases will increase along with them as well. And if we desire a lifestyle of luxury technology, we are desiring a future without nature. And taking these actions and taking action in general can result in a better future for our children and our children's children and planet Earth. So if you take a look at my final slide from the PowerPoint, you see a few pictures of how Earth will look like if we fix the problem. There you also see the effects that harm Earth if we don't. So making an attempt to reduce the number of gases can and potentially ending global warming will help animals keep living in their natural habitat and their environment and help a clean Earth for many, many generations to come. Making a small change on the current situation will create a great difference in the future. We will prevent the extinction of certain species and keep them alive for our children to see. Now, if we consider not attempting to make a change in the near future, a large number of different species will disappear off the face of the earth, and this will not only affect nature, but also humans. It will become more complicated to grow food, which we greatly need to survive. You can reduce the amount of power being used all throughout the house and limit your amount of vehicles by selling them if you have, too many cars or an extra car, like some people like to buy sports cars, for fun. And perhaps limiting the number of children that you want to have also can help with global warming now that you know the effects on it. And global warming has been around for centuries due to the human population. And in order for you to help reduce the effects of global warming, the human population has to make an attempt for change. And lowering the atmosphere temperatures will help minimize the impacts and effects of global warming on nature and planet planet as a whole. After hearing my speech, I want to ask you all, what can you do right now at this instant to help reduce global warming?
Maybe turning off lights that you're not using. Perhaps this one. That would be a way.
Yeah, you're right.
Everyone.
You're right, because we do have them on in the living room, the kitchen, and the dining room. That's a really good point. Thank you all for your time and taking your time to listen to me throughout my speech. I really appreciate it, and have a great day.